Hey, welcome back. Let's get right into today's breakdown of the Korean economy. Starting with the banking sector, the country's four major financial groups, KB, Shinhan, Hana, and Woori, are projected to pay a combined 6.1666 trillion won in corporate taxes this year. That is a 37.5% increase compared to last year. Because more than 80% of their profits are generated domestically, approximately 5 trillion won of that total will go to the South Korean tax agency. The government estimates its total corporate tax revenue for this year at 86.5 trillion won, meaning these four institutions alone are responsible for about 6% of the national total. Looking at the specific institutions, KB Financial leads with an expected 1.8967 trillion won in taxes, a 21% increase. Shinhan Financial follows with 1.572 trillion won, up 29.9%, and Hana Financial will pay 1.502 trillion won, up 38.4%. Woori Financial has the smallest total at 1.1957 trillion won, but it saw the steepest year-over-year increase at 92.7%, primarily due to the incorporation of Tongyang and ABL Life Insurance as subsidiaries last year. Looking ahead, financial information provider FN Guide notes that domestic securities firms estimate the pre-tax profit of these groups will average 26.3857 trillion won this year, a 7% increase, meaning tax contributions are expected to climb further. Moving to real estate, the government is reviewing plans to restrict public guarantees on Jeonseae loans, Korea's unique lump sum deposit housing system, specifically for single home owners who do not reside in their owned property. According to data from the Office of Representative Kim Sang-hoon, which aggregated figures from the Korea Housing Finance Corporation, HUG, and SGI Seoul Guarantee, Jeon's loan guarantees provided to homeowners reached 13.9395 trillion won last year. That accounts for 12.7% of the total 109.3995 trillion won in guarantees issued. The Financial Services Commission is weighing regulations for non-resident single-home owners in the Seoul metropolitan area and other regulated zones, though exceptions for work, education, or supporting elderly parents will remain. The government is also considering incorporating the interest on high-value Jeonseae loans into the debt service ratio, DSR calculation, and raising the risk-weighted assets, RWA ratio for mortgage loans from 20% to 25%. Finally, in the technology sector, the Ministry of Science and ICT, along with the Korea Internet and Security Agency, KISA, is accelerating the legislative push for a new Blockchain Basic Act. Starting in June, authorities will survey over 600 domestic blockchain companies. The data collected will help refine the government's draft of the bill. While current regulations focus on cryptocurrencies, this proposed act aims to clearly define the legal status of underlying technologies like distributed ledgers and smart contracts to reduce legal uncertainty. After stalling for 6 years in the National Assembly, the government plans to release detailed legislative materials by mid-July and will host a policy symposium in August to gather industry input. That's all for today's deep dive. We'll be back with more insights. You've been listening to the Korea Economy Brief, straight from the front page of Seoul Economic Daily. Thanks for tuning in.